I'm back in my local town today on a retro video game hunt. We're going to go to CEX, we're going to do the charity shops, but the question is this: are we going to hit retro gold, or is it all going to be FIFA fodder and scratch discs? Wish me luck, I'm going to need it. Let's go.
And so it begins in our first charity shop. Bit of James Bond scale electrics there. A quick look at the films here now. This 28 days later. I do believe CEX sold that for a tenner because apparently it's not available on streaming services. But I believe it is now. So will the price of that drop massively? Let me know. Platoon there. Good little film that, wasn't it? Remember, we had Vietnam, everything at one stage in the 80s. This book caught my eye. I love a bit of suede, and for quid for that, I nearly bought it, but I didn't. I thought, where am I going to find the time to read a book? I'm probably not, unless I'm going on a sun lounge or somewhere. But on to the games. Now, look at this, right? Dark World board game. They wanted $19.99 for this, which wasn't a bad price, to be fair, if it's complete and everything else. But it just reminded me of Hero Quest. It's probably not as good as Hero Quest because that's had a remake and everything, but do you remember this? And look at that advert. Look at the costumes on that advert. It's just brilliant, wasn't it? Happy days they were, happy times, mate, simple times, but really caught my eye. I didn't buy it, but yeah, nice to have a good look at that Dark World there. On to the games. Plenty of PC games in here, there always are. A few Xbox games. Fable, that's an absolute classic, isn't it, Fable? And Xbox 360. I don't go in for 360 collecting generally. I've got quite a big collection, which was little OG's. He gave it to me. But I think I'm more PS3 than I am Xbox 360. And talking of PS3, yes, there they are, look. FIFA 10. FIFA 10. FIFA whatever. PES. FIFA. Can't have enough FIFA in your life. Oh, and talking of FIFA 16. 18? Buzz. I love Buzz games. I think they're brilliant. I own all of these anyway, so I didn't bother with that. Bit of PES there. Dance Stage Remix. My days of dancing are well over. Depends how many beers I have, I suppose. And of course, more FIFA games than you shake a stick at there. But the Wii titles, always worth a look. Last time I was in here, I got Mario Party, so I did all right. GJ Jockey, Zumba 2, Wii Fit. Tiger Woods. My Fitness Coach, a FIFA, a Wii Fit and another Wii Fit. Active and Zumba and this. This caught my eye here. This is just something to show you sort of about charity shop pricing really. They wanted £2 for this, but as you can see there, it's £1 in CEX. I do wonder how they do some of their pricing sometimes, some of these charity shops. But don't get me wrong, I understand it's charity and everything else, but my attitude towards it is sell it slightly less than CEX and get them off the shelf, you know what I mean? Sell them. Anyway, a few PS3 games and stuff in here, but to be fair, it's always the same games, and I think this one in particular, all the games are always priced more than they are in CEX, which just strikes me as odd. Here's a fine example of that. So if we look at the classic Hannah Montana Spotlight here, it's £1.25, but if I go to CEX, it's 50p. How do they justify that one? And another question for you. Here we have Kylo Ren. I think it's a digital alarm clock or something. But is it just me, or is he one of the weakest Darth Vader villains we've ever had? I think so. I do. There's something about him. I just think he's weak. Anyway, here we go. This next charity shop had some bits in here in the past. Not too bad, but I can confirm there was not a single video game in here today. But hey, as I always say, you got to be in it to win it. Never stop looking, folks. Never stop looking. But a few Blu-ray films, had a quick look in case there was any 3D ones that I haven't got. But this caught my eye again. Remember this? Shutter Island. What a twist at the end that had, eh? Leonardo DiCaprio. Good little film. Next charity shop, Wisdom Hospice. Again, had some pickups in the past here, but I have not seen a video game in this charity shop for an absolute age, which tells me maybe they're putting them elsewhere. Over the road and onto British Heart Foundation. Again in here, whenever I've found games in the past, I've always found they've been well overpriced. But again, nothing in it, not a single video game to be had. But a quick look at the films again. The Mummy, that was the remake. Do you prefer the original or did you enjoy the remake? I think the original, really. You've got to stick with the original, haven't you? And this film here, Rogue One. What an absolute beast of a Star Wars movie that was. And there you go, Force Awakens. I enjoyed that series of films. A lot of people do slag them off a bit, but hey, I don't think it's too bad. Anyway, we have one more charity shop to go, and it is there, the Cancer Research, and then we will be heading to the one, the only, the CEX, where I can always guarantee a pickup. Nice Playmobil kit there, look, £3 that, lovely little toy for someone that. So yeah, if you've got a little kitty there, free notes, I don't think that's bad at all. Nice little gift for a small child. One video game in here, but again, look at the pricing. Dead or Alive 2 on the PS2, a fiver, £3.50 in CEX. So yeah, like I say, it's always, I know people say, oh yeah, but it's charity, OG, and I get that, I do, I understand it, and you know, if it's a game I really want, I'll happily pay it if it's in great condition. But you know what, I don't know, I think they need to price a bit lower. But anyway, well, let's get to the CEX in question. And here, these amiibos, look, £12, that's Princess Peach, and there's the Wedding Mario. They do quite well. I've seen them on plenty of wedding cakes over the years with certain groups of people, shall we say. Yes, indeed. No, me and Mrs. OG didn't have them because I don't think they were about when we got married. Mega CD game there for a fiver and some decent GameCube games in here, look. But that one caught my eye there, look, Wario World. I have to say, the artwork on that cover is really nice, and it's something I debate quite often. Quite often it's the artwork that sold it to me. I did a blog on it once on the website. Go over and have a read if you get a moment. And it's how about the games of old games, you know, your Sinclair ZX Spectrum Commodore 64 games. Quite often you could be sold a really bad game just by the cover artwork alone. So it was a very clever spin on marketing back in the days, and it's how they actually sold many a bad product. Trust me, if you're around in that area, you know. But that cover caught my eye, I really like that one. So a bit of Wario World there. Next up, some Mega Drive games. Always look at the Mega Drive and Master System games. Quite into them at the moment, as I am PS1 as well. Will one of them make it into the pickups? You'll have to wait till the end to see. Resident Evil 4 there, PS2, looked quite a nice one there. And I've moved away from sort of the retro cabinets and we're now onto the shelves. And look at that, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, GameCube, £8. And talking of GameCube, there was plenty of GameCube in here, so it was very nice to see. I mean, GameCube is something you don't see as much as maybe you used to, you know. Jedi Outcast there too. Not bad game at all. I already own it though, so I passed up on that one. But the GameCube had some seriously good Star Wars games on it, didn't it? I mean, there it is, Rogue Leader and all that. They were absolutely brilliant games. And talking about brilliant games and brilliant game systems, the original Xbox, the OG Xbox. Oh yes, indeed. Now there's one game here caught my eye, and this took me right back, and it is that there, Midtown Madness 3. What an absolute beast of a game that was. I remember having that back in the day. And I'd play it online via Xbox Live. And it was such good fun. I mean, the online play was brilliant. And yeah, I never tired of it. It's probably one of the very early online console games that I played to death in online mode. Yeah, it was such a good one. Do you remember that? Midtown Madness 3? What a game. Plenty of PSP games and UMD videos. Now personally I don't go in for these, but I know many of you do, so I always like showing you a few. But Predator, what a movie. That's one of Schwarzenegger's best, isn't it?
Stick around.
That Total Recall. The Running Man's a bit B-movie now when you watch it, but it's still good, isn't it? It's just Arnie cheese at best, you know what I mean? Anyway, PSP games there. Quick look at some of them for you, but that one stuck out, of course. Look, bit of Metal Gear Solid there, £15. But PSP, as I say, don't go in for it, but I know many of you do. Scrambling through the shelves, seeing what other goodies I find, and look at that, Fable. Do you remember that? Chicken kicker. If you know, you know. Moving on to Nintendo Wii, I absolutely love the Wii. I think there's so many unique titles on this system with the controller and everything, so I always have a good look. Now this caught my eye again, it catches me every single time. I keep assuming it's a quiz game, but it's not, it's dance. So I always get a little bit disappointed when I spot it, because I get a little tinge of excitement and then it just drops off when I realise it's a dance game. And talking of dancing, let's tap 75 pence. I passed up on that. Bit of a spoiler there for you, so I do not pick up that title. This game caught my eye, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. I'll be absolutely honest, my experience of Tony Hawk's games is on the PS1. I mean, Pro Skater, wasn't it? They were great, but the one thing that really stuck out to me for the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games on PlayStation was the soundtracks. They had some brilliant banging soundtracks going on, didn't they? Yeah, good stuff. Happy memories there from the PS1 with Tony Hawk's. I'm sure many of you remember it. Was it number 2, Pro Skater 2? Was that the best one? I think it was very highly rated. Let me know in the comments. Now I always look at this, the cardboard edition of Wii Sports. I wish there was an app that told you historic prices of CEX, because I'm intrigued at that one, because I know it went up dramatically during COVID, so it'd be interesting to see, but to my knowledge there isn't. But if you know one, let me know please. And now a bit of an arty shot of my little hoofs making their way to the PlayStation 2 shelving. PS2, really collectible at the moment. Lots of people are in on the PS2. It's just one of those systems that a load of people seem to be collecting for at the moment. Street Fighter Alpha Anthology there. I do love me some Capcom, and I do love me some Street Fighter. I just think it's the iconic artwork and everything really it's associated. But this one here, Hit and Run, The Simpsons, classic back in the day, and a game that seems to be holding its value very nicely indeed. Then make my way down to those trusty PS3 shelves. I love me some PS3, as you probably know if you've seen the channel before. If not, then you'll soon learn that I do. There's some absolute quality games on here, cheap as chip prices, and here we go, look, Modern Warfare 2, £1, right? I know that's on 360 as well, but you know, it's just a brilliant game, and for £1, you can't go wrong.
Game hunt done, bit of a mixed bag there today, as you could see. Anyway, only one way to end this, isn't there? You know what time it is, people. Oh yes, beer o'clock.
In the past, many have said that this is the best pickup of any game hunt. Do you know what? I don't think you're wrong. Always end my game hunts with a lovely cold pint. Oh yes.
Right then, back in the games room, and this time I've come home with a proper mix of pickups. From budget gems to one absolute retro classic I've been intrigued to have in the collection for years. But unfortunately, no charity shops this time out, no pickups from there. But of course, CEX come through with a little PlayStation treasure. It hit the wallet, but I think it's totally worth it. Let's jump in, we'll take a closer look at what I picked up in this local game hunt. Kicking things off with something a bit different. Secret Files Tunguska on the Wii. Now, this one only cost me £2.50. It's actually a proper little hidden gem. It looks like your sort of classic point and click mystery, and based around the Tunguska event in 1908. I know absolutely nothing about that, but apparently it's a weird explosion that took place in Russia. Hey, I'm sure one of you good people will know. Anyway, this game looks to be packed with puzzles, dialogue, and it seems to have that old school slow burn adventure feel. I'm hoping the Wii Remote works really well with this as a pointer, and it can make it feel almost like a PC game, you know? I love finding these types of titles that completely flew under the radar from back in the day. And this Wii game looks like it might be a great title that I think both me and Mrs. OG will enjoy. That's what I love about the Wii. There's just so many unique titles and games. Always worth looking out for the Wii games, for sure. Now this one, Fast and Furious Showdown on the PS3. £3, and honestly, it's probably more of a curiosity than a classic. It ties into the movie universe, but let's be real. I don't mind the odd Fast and Furious film, but I can take or leave them, you know what I mean? It's a strange old franchise, but I know they're really, really popular. But I picked it up just because I love oddball licensed games, and sometimes they're just so bad, they're actually good. It's got co-op missions and car combat and stuff, so it leans heavily into that chaotic sort of Fast and Furious vibe, I'm guessing. Might be an okay game, and for only £3. You can't complain at that. And this is the reason I still love picking up games for the PS3. Look, there's just so many great games. They're cheap as chip prices. And you know what? The PS3, to me, still looks amazing and absolutely impressive. Yes, indeed. In fact, I suppose, in the world of OGDuffy, it's the equivalent of modern gaming. It's as good as it gets. I do love me some PS3. But you know what time it is now, guys. Before we get to the rest of the pickups, let's go grab a beer. Before I crack on with the next game, a quick moment to raise a beer to this week's channel member that is pulled from this here beer pot. And that name this week is... well, it says with his hand getting stuck, the one, the only, Mr. Lee Hammer. So Lee Hammer, thank you for all your support, thoroughly appreciate it. But we're not having a beer this week, no. We're having ourselves a cider. So cheers to you, Lee Hammer, I really appreciate your support. And if you want to join the channel, unlock some extra perks, I don't know, like, you know, the exclusive videos, the extra competition entries, the exclusive competitions, and have your name in the beer pot, then there's a join button down below. But there's no pressure, guys. Honestly, watching, liking, commenting means the world to me, it really does. And it helps the channel just as much, so I thank you all for that massively. So anyway, a massive thanks to all members and watchers, and Mr. Lee Hammer, this beer, or cider, my friend, is for you. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and likes the videos. In the words of Tesco's, every little helps. Cheers, Lee. Next up, a little bargain, and at just £1. This is what I just love about PS3 collecting. There's so many great games and they're all at bargain prices. Virtua Tennis 2009. I feel these games just don't get enough love anymore, you know. Virtual Tennis is an amazing game experience. It's proper arcade sports fun, smooth controls, flashy courts, but for me, right, it's all about the career modes in these games. Now a question for you good folks at home. Top Spin or Virtua Tennis? Which is the better franchise in your eyes? Drop it in the comments. I'd be intrigued to know. And for a quid, yes, £1 whole, you can't go wrong. Even if it's just a quick, you know, pick up and play session with a mate or whatever. For £1, you just can't go wrong for it, really. Will this be the game I play at the end of this video? Maybe, maybe not. But we'll check out the other pickups first, and then we'll get to a few more beers and a bit of gameplay. Now this next one, I was in two minds about it. Stuntman Ignition for £3. It's one of those games where you feel like you're in a Michael Bay film. Every level you're driving through scripted stunt sequences, explosions, crashes, precise jumps, and it's all about nailing the perfect take, is what I'm guessing. And that for me is where the issue lays. I just hope, right, it's not one of those games where you have to keep repeating the same sequence over and over and over before you can advance onto the next one. Either way, it's going to be fun for a while at least, and for £3, you can't complain, can you really? Now over to you, have you played this in the past? Let me know. Is this a banger or a bummer? Drop it in the comments as always. So there we go, Stuntman Ignition. Have I bummed out on this one? Or have I done all right? All right, time for the big one. Vagrant Story on the PS1 at £48. And yeah, that stung a bit, but I've been considering this one for ages. I recently purchased Wild Arms from the same CEX branch, and to be honest, back then it was a toss-up between this and Wild Arms. I've read and I've been told that this is one of the PS1's most critically acclaimed RPGs. But it's also one of the most unusual dark story, deep weapon crafting systems, etc. And a unique grid system, they say, when you're battling, that almost feels like it's a bit of a dungeon crawler. Now, being a big D&D fan back in the day, this sounds right up my street. It's made by the same team behind Final Fantasy Tactics, and it still looks stunning thanks to its moody art style. I missed out on it back in the day, right? But now, it finally has a home. Oh, yes, it does. And for me, it's been worth every penny. Also, I hope it is. Personally, though, it's by Squaresoft, has great reviews, so what's not to love with that one? Now let's recap and give one of these games a spin. But the question is, which game I choose? So that's the lot. Some quirky finds, a few bargains, and one absolute PS1 beauty. I'm still buzzing about that one, to be honest. But now comes the best bit. Time to actually play one of these. I've had a good think while going through the stack, and I reckon I'm gonna play Stuntman Ignition and give it a proper go. It could be a laugh or it could be a complete disaster, but hey, that's half the fun, isn't it? Anyway, let me know in the comments which one would you have picked, and if you've played any of these titles that I've picked up today, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them, good and bad. Big thanks again, everybody, every single one of you who watches, likes, comments, and to this week's channel member, cheers again, Mr. Lee Hammer. And if you fancy joining and supporting what I do, then hey, the button's down there, down below. But no pressure, just having you here is enough, folks. Let's go whack this in to the PS3 and see how good it actually is. I'm a bit worried about this one. One, let's go.
Action.
Right, avoid him. That car there. That's the one that just goes up for no reason. Got some nice acceleration at the time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Right, let's hit that ramp straight on. Avoiding the flames this time. I think that might be the best bet. Yeah, we're doing alright. It's like a forest fiery thing going on. Bloody car, what's that? Oh. You know what? It's one of them, you just want to keep going back and trying again. But I can see this quickly getting frustrating. Right, come on. 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I stayed airborne for a lot longer that time, but of course I hit a car. Oh dear, I tell you, I'm starting to get frustrated with this now. Oh dear me, enough's enough.
As he flees the volcanic eruption.
Okay, I've gone in for career mode.
Semi. The key is to hit the ramp straight. That'll set you up for the stunt that follows. As soon as you land, you'll have a pair of precision drivers coming at you fast, and you'll need a gap between them. It's dangerous, so be careful. And don't be afraid of retakes. Mr. Langston's a picky director, and it can take a while.
Yeah, we got it. Let's just go. So I've got to go, hit the ramp.
Let's focus and start the film right.
Right. I don't upset this director, though. Apparently he gets the hump.
2, 1.
And it's funny how they've made him British, because I don't know. I don't know if part of the scene was I was meant to hit innocent people. But hey, I just think it's going to have actions. I'm sorry, Mr. Director. I don't know what I'm doing.
Cut. You've taken a wrong turn. We're not shooting over there.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, we'll have one more attempt. I couldn't even see where the ramp was, to be absolutely fair. One. And I'll try not to run people over. Oh, yeah, I see. I see. Through that. Okay. Avoid the people.
Cut. No, that's not where you should be.
I don't know where I'm meant to be going. Oh, for God's sake. I'll tell you what, this is a strange one, because I keep wanting to play it again. This is it, my last attempt. Right, avoid, go between them. That's it, good stuff. God's sake. Right, let's have a look here. Where am I meant to go? Go over that side. Oh, there we go. There's the ramp. I think, yay, baby! Have we done it? Woohoo! Oh no, I missed that bit up. OG is not the stuntman he wants to be. Although that said, the director hasn't said stop yet, so I'm not all bad. I'm not sure what all these symbols mean. Woohoo!
Printed. Let's move on to the next
I
shot.
did it! I only went and did it! Awesome! Enjoyed that little spin on that. I'll be honest, when I first started it, in the non-career mode, just sort of practice mode, I have to admit, I was getting a little bit frustrated with it. And it was how I feared it would be, just, you know, repeat, repeat, repeat. But in career mode, it's not so bad. I think it's one of them games, although it's repeat, 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 it'll keep you coming back. And at 3 notes, yeah, I think I did alright with that one. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've been OGDuffy. Do them good things that you all do. See you all on the next one.